really happy because once this is kind of done, everything else should just kind of start falling kind of into place. I still need to get these washers tacked on both sides and then completely welded. All right, so I'm making some progress here on the pulley setup. So I got everything kind of mocked up the way I want it to be. All right, so working on the subscriber build, Wild Horse, Wheel Horse C81. It is a mouthful if you can make everything out there. God, we're on to what part? Is this 5 now, I believe? So maybe even 4. So, I mean, at this point, I hope you at least know what's going on. So I've had the motor out. Last video I stated how the motor had to get put back. You see me get everything welded up. I got the holes drilled today on live, so sorry I didn't get that on camera for you guys on YouTube, but it's holes. It's pretty straightforward. I'll tell you a little cheat that I did. I put the motor like this. I put this up here to square off between this pulley and then the back pulley to make sure everything is squared. And then what I did is I took a can of spray paint and I shot it in the hole there, and then back there. I could not get to the 4th one. There's, as you can see, there's really no way to get a paint marker or anything in there, and that really helped dial it in. I drilled all the holes, and now unfortunately I'm just a fuzz off. So not a huge deal. All I got to do is pretty much round out one hole. Let's see. Let me get this put on there. Maybe. So we're pretty much dead square back there, and I'm just that little fuzz off up here in the front. You know, it might be okay, but I'd rather get it closer to perfection as possible. So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm going to unbolt the motor. I'm going to see if I can just get that little give. I don't believe I will. I'll have to take the motor back off, which it's 4 bolts. It's not a big deal. The electrical's not hooked back up. I want to make sure everything was square before I started actually putting everything back in place. Because again, if we check, the reason I had to move this to begin with was the steering, and now we clear. You can see how much I can turn that bad boy, and we don't hit. So I'm gonna have to limit the throw. I know I've mentioned before, I'm gonna have to limit the throw on how much this axle can move. Most of the, you could say the more professionals, you know, the mowers that are already tried and true, you know, top contenders for TTC and everything. Some of them already run limiters. It's not going to be a new thing at all. But I'm going to limit the I'm going to limit how much it can move, so that way then it does not go into there. I might just eliminate this altogether. It's just one less thing I got to worry about catching on. Then I believe, yeah, so I'm actually free and clear with the clutch. So I thought I was going to hit, but now with everything actually all the way back, we're in really good shape. So I just got to move maybe, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch or so to get this thing back into place. Motor will be back in. Once I get that motor back in, I'll probably jack the rear end up, take that tire off, and start looking more at this clutch system and seeing what I need to do to modify to make my clutch just that little bit better. So that way, as soon as I get this thing up and going, I'll have a more permanent style. I was thinking putting a couple idlers in. Charlie Horse had some great videos. Some of you commenters have helped, you know, just with some different ideas. There's already so many cool wheel horses out there that luckily I got some tips and tricks from between their videos and everything. So, you know, might be a YouTuber myself, but also I utilize a lot of the people that have been doing this for longer than me. We don't claim to be the best. If you watch us and you think we're the best, hey, thank you very much. But there's definitely people that have been doing this longer that have, you know, in my opinion, cooler builds. I hope this will end up being one that, you know, I'd classify as one of the top contenders. Who knows? We'll see where it goes. I mean, I'm sure trying. There's no doubt about it. Definitely going to be one of the top competitors, hopefully around here, which I've already built Blue on Black. Or I should say, Matt helped me build Blue on Black. Matt did most of it. I'm never going to take the credit of that. That's his baby right here now. We'll see this will be competing with this year is Water Boy, and this thing is just getting better and better as well. Absolutely love this thing now with them 26s in the back, raises it up. Some things he's been working on with that. We'll go over that though in a different video. Just thought I'd share that since it's sitting right here in all its glory. checklist still on this is get that front bumper built, get a custom exhaust built, which if I need to for now, just to be able to start testing everything out, put the stock exhaust back on, you know, put the gas tank back on, make sure there's no leaks or anything, or I should say gas line on, get the battery in there. We'll be able to fire this thing up sooner before later. We're just going to run the standard carb for now until I buy the bigger one, and then also get the foot throttle made up here on the brake, and then also fine tune the brake throw cable, or the brake throw on the clutch and brake pedal itself. I already got it all modified, but I think I'm gonna have to extend it a little bit, so we'll see how much throw and everything else I get when I start adjusting this clutch. So appreciate you guys following along. We'll get some time lapse in there and we'll see what we can get done this week on Wild Horse and where we end up, and we're just going to be that much closer to making it one hell of a build. And again, I'm going to thank Postal Redneck for this. I'm going to be designing a shirt very shortly with that on it, and hope you guys enjoy it. If you want to help support this, go purchase that shirt. I will make sure you guys know when it's up. I'll even give you guys a discount code for that shirt, and we'll see what we can do with this thing. Maybe if I can sell enough shirts, that'll give me the ability to go ahead and get that carburetor ordered, and again make this a true subscriber build, and your name will get put on that hood. Again, it's not designed yet, it's not made yet, just wanted to at least give you guys that insight. Feel free to comment if you're interested. It'll get me to get that made sooner rather than later. mowersgonewild.com will show you all the shirts I already do have designed, between sweatshirts and t-shirts. Anyone that does purchase anything off there other than just a plain sticker will get your name on the hood. So again, appreciate you guys, hope you guys are enjoying, and let's make this thing wild and keep them mowers wild, guys. What's going on, everyone? Travis, Mowers Gone Wild. I'm out here in the garage with the subscriber build Wild Horse. So I know you guys see all this together, which it is definitely a little sporadic. Life's been very busy, but beside the point, let's get on to the... So last time I was working on this, which was actually about a week ago. I only got to work on it for about a day last week, but long story short is the motor got moved. I was working on the holes to get everything lined up correctly. It's all lined up finally now, at least as far as I can tell. Moving this motor back allowed the tire clearance, everything else, so that's great. I got my full turn-in radius. I don't want to limit that. I want to be able to maneuver as best I can with this thing, especially being how narrow it is. I think it's going to be awesome for any sort of obstacle courses or anything that we may put this thing through, let alone, you know, just being able to maneuver in general, especially with these tires. I look forward to seeing what this thing will do with this, let alone with the Sun Fs in the back. But now everything's back in line. The belt that I wanted to use, well, being that I lost almost 3 to 4 inches with the motor bringing it back, didn't work. Luckily, we did have a spare 82 around, and I believe this is going to work. I got the clutch pulley off. I believe I'm actually going to change this. It has some wear to it, so I might just go ahead and put a new one while I'm at it. I'm actually going to tack that on, just to make sure it stays on. I got the set screw, everything else, but just to be, again, on the safe side, I don't plan on changing that. And a tack I can always clean off later if I need to. But from watching the Charlie Horse video and really getting to learn more about wheel horses, again, Matt's had the Water Boy here. He's got to test some things, but this has more or less only been around since kind of late last summer, where it's really kind of come into its glory. So this is going to be a whole new thing, especially for me, as I've never had this style drive or transmission. So with that, I want to try to start it off right. In watching Charlie Horse video, he had some just, I mean, awesome info. So if you haven't seen the Charlie Horse video and you're building a wheel horse, you should go watch that. So that's very informative. It's an awesome build. He says that I think he's done 11 different iterations on the clutch. So this is going to be my first attempt. But again, we're going to have this here. I'm going to build a stopper, and I'll kind of show you guys around the way, is he used some bearings. So when this clutch comes down, instead of actually stopping the belt, it will actually allow the belt still to roll, which allows you to break the belt, but also allow the belt again to move, so that way the belt's not stuck right here on this point, and it will allow me to be able to shift gears properly. So that's the whole goal of that. And then also with that, I'm actually planning on building a rail in here that's slotted, so as the belt wears, I can move this, but I'm going to have this idler here to help put pressure on this backside and between the clutch in this, so that way I can get as much grip as I can, let alone being it's a smaller pulley. So that's going to be my first iteration. I'm going to allow the belt to be underneath the running board, meaning I do have to take off about 3 bolts to be able to get to this. Again, I don't plan on going through a bunch of belts. I plan on making this thing very solid, and if I need to change it, oh well, I'm always going to have a little bit of a tool belt or something on this that allows me to have the tools with a spare belt to be able to change it. So that's kind of the in a nutshell what's going on. All the electricals, at least, all right back in there. I just need to run a few grounds back and everything. Stock exhaust is going to go on it for test and tuning. Once I can get this belt thing figured out and get that on here, I may take it for a ride, or I might start going ahead and just getting the front bumper designed and built, as that shouldn't be a huge project in itself. But we're getting so close, guys, so close to being able to run this thing. Unfortunately, life's just been so busy this past month and the very beginning, or pretty much half of March. But, you know, I'm getting to the point that things are going to at least be able to give me some more time to get back to this. We're finally getting some nicer weather, which means I am itching to get this thing in some mud. And with that, I'm ready to get blue on black's thing dialed in. So once I can get this thing running, I want to get blue and black in here and officially get working brakes. So we will get that going. Some new things have been dropping on our YouTube. If you haven't noticed already, our shop is actually connected to YouTube. So any of our shirts and merchandise, I plan on doing some more updates, getting some different, more or less designs made up. So feel free to keep checking on them. Anyone that purchases a shirt will get their name put on the hood of the Wild Horse, like Joseph, Mother Mitchell Tree, my cousin Ben. All 3 of them have been huge supporters. Postal Redneck for making the Wild Horse design for the, more or less, you can almost say the mascot. It's going to be the logo for Wild Horse that will be branded for this. So that's going to get put on the hood as well, let alone Postal Redneck is going to be, again, written on there. So, and again, anyone else that goes and purchases shirts or anything from there, or you subscribe to our YouTube, we actually have a membership account now on here. We're going to get rid of the Patreon account. It just didn't pick up. I had a feeling it wouldn't, but I at least wanted to have it. It's free to try. But we're going to have the YouTube one as well. You're more than welcome to check that out and see what all the perks are. And if we can grow that, there's some really cool perks of chat only for any member. And again, all kinds of other stuff. Not going to really plug that, but you can go check all that out. All our lives are going to be on YouTube from now on. Sorry that we missed this week, this Tuesdays. Again, just life kind of got in the way. We actually went and got another C81 that replaced this one for Matt that I bought for him. And then he also bought 2 other ones that are just going to be kind of parts ones. And I think Mike's going to buy some parts off of one of them as well. So that's just kind of what we're at for right now. You can see everything, just kind of the progress of what we got going. Again, we're just going to run the stock carb until I can more or less purchase or get to start running this and see how everything goes before I start buying upgrades for this motor. But I'm so excited, so ready to finally sit in this seat, whether I need to build a cushion for it or not, and just freaking hit some mud. And I cannot wait to take that first video of it. And I'm ready to get that design made and get on here so I can start getting some names written on here. I'll be reaching out to all of you to figure out exactly what you want. I believe the only person I know officially is, I believe she's okay with Mother Mitchell Tree for on the hood, since she bought a shirt for Don and Mike both, which if you've ever watched our lives, you would have met them or seen them. But that's going to be a little bit for this. I'm going to keep doing some more progress, keep watching. I really appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, share this if you would, and leave a comment, man. Let me know what you like. So I hope you guys are enjoying this, and let's get some more progress. Let's get this clutch setup done, and let's get this thing rolling. Let's keep these mowers wild. All right, I just wanted to do a quick little walkthrough on the bracket that I'm making for the idler pulley that's going to be the tensioner, and more or less help make sure I get the absolute most engagement I can, and also help for when the belts start to wear, and for brand new belts that, again, I can just adjust, a belt adjuster. Again, Charlie Horse, he made an awesome video on his build, 11 different iterations he said that he's done, and this is one of the things that really kind of stood out to me, that is something I wanted to add as well. I'll show you right where this is going to go on the mower and everything. Two existing holes in the mower. I actually took a little spray paint and spray painted from the backside to mark my steel, and it lined up just perfect. It's a little trick that Matt taught me that I've been using a lot. The way I make the slots, you see it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but I drilled a hole here and here. Then I took my cutoff wheel, and then I cut absolutely the best I could to get enough out. Again, you're never going to see this or anything, but structurally it looks, very good. It's a very solid piece. I don't want it to bend or anything because obviously it's going to have an idler on there. There's going to be tension on it. So I want to make sure it's a nice stout piece of metal. And then there's going to be 2 grade 8 bolts that hold this into the frame itself. That is removable because this actually bolts from the frame to the rear end mount, where the fenders and everything go. So if I ever want to pull that rear end again, I wanted to weld this in place, but that would make it almost impossible without cutting things off to make this work. So now I'll show you what it's like on the mower itself. Alright, so to give an idea of exactly what it's going to look like, again, there's the hole. The clutch pulley is just kind of mounted right there. Again, I'm getting ready to do some more tweaks to it, but this is going to be able to move back and forth. I need to build a spacer off the back of this so that way it has a little bit of a step out, but that's going to work really good. I just got to make sure I have a very nice solid square step, so that will keep this square to the belt and allow me to push in or out whatever I need to do based on the belt wear or the grab I'm getting or not getting. But again, just a quick tip, take some spray paint because I had the hole, and I just shot a little paint once I had the bar there right where I wanted it sprayed. Not too much, so that way I don't get too much of a drip. And then the same thing I did here on the inside there, and when I had this flush against there, it made the mark right where I needed the drill. Once I had that one done, I did that, so that way I knew right where to put it. Made things a lot easier. Drilled once, worked perfect. So that's just going to be the run of that. Already has a decent look to it. Again, I want to replace this one. This just has some wear to it. It does spin decent, but it already feels a little sloppy. And I already know the way I am with these things, throwing them through the mud and everything else. I want as many good idlers and bearings as possible, because they seize up. And when they seize up, it makes a living hell, and it can ruin a $30, $40 belt in an instant and make you ride over. But that's the progress, again, I'm making so far. Again, always appreciate what you guys do by watching. Feel free to share this, share it to a friend, or again, just comment, like it. Anything that you guys do that helps interact with this video just helps more and more people see it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to us. We've grown a lot in just the past year, and when we want to be able to keep growing, to be able to keep reaching more and more people. And so thanks, guys. Appreciate the support. Again, if you ever buy a shirt, get your name put on this mower. I hope to one day fill this up so much that I got to start writing on the fenders. But for now, we got about, I think, 5 names, and they're going to start going on there hopefully within the next week or so. Now that I'm starting to get things closer and closer I'm going to eventually do my first layer of clear. Once I get the first base names on there, they're going to get more or less the best real estate for the names, and then so on and so forth. We'll get more and more going on there, hopefully. So if not, regardless, I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate the support of just watching the video. So thank you guys. Well, the progress is just about done for what I'm going to be able to do with this time frame. So this probably will conclude the part 5. I'm going to throw in, which you've probably already seen to this point, or maybe I'll just put it after this. I actually did not have a lot of the footage that I actually did with all the more or less customization of making these front wheels. I kind of just talked about it a little bit in part 4, but I thought maybe somehow that footage got deleted or never got recorded. I don't always do it all in one straight shot, but I did find it all, so I'm going to actually include that as well. But as you can already tell, I got a belt and everything on there. It's still a little too loose. I did change the spring, but I'm not happy exactly with the location, but it's already after midnight at this point, and I still got to work tomorrow, so I'm going to end up getting the tires back on so it can roll around in case Matt needs to move it as he's doing some remodeling around this house. So that way, again, if he just needs to be able to use it and or move things around in the garage, I'm going to at least button that up. But I got the idler in there. Everything looks really good. Everything's bolted up. I got lock nuts, everything else on it. Again, everything's adjustable. If this were to be able to pull back just that little bit more like a clutch should allow, it will get that belt right where it needs. So I think I just need to adjust that big new spring I put on to be lower so it gets a better pull on it. So I'm getting really close to being where I think I can try it as, you can say, the first iteration of this with an 82 belt. Might end up bumping to an 83 and then trying to roll her up here if I don't like this or if it ends up popping off or anything crazy. But again, I kind of want to try it more of a stock, and I know everyone has different opinions. Charlie Horse, again, has had excellent luck with his. He's, done so many different things with that. But you got to start somewhere. I think that was a very good start to be able to have an adjuster, to be able to make sure I get enough bite on that and everything else from there. Then I can work on guides and everything in the future if needed. I know this is already going to help. It's already a self-guide. I'm going to clean this inner edge up just to make sure if that belt rubs on it that I'm not tearing this edge up on my belt. But then with that, I still need to do a little tack weld there. Might do that real quick before I put the wheels back on to make it a roller. Then, really just need to get that exhaust on. I either need to make my custom and just get it done, or throw the stock one on it for now, just to be able to do, again, trial and error, just to really see exactly what's going. Motor's officially bolted up, and with lock nuts and everything else, so should it be able to move. Wiring's pretty much completed, so it's very, very close. The gas tank's already drained, so there's no old gas. I need to still fill the rear with oil, but the list is a lot smaller to actually full out get this thing out and run it. So I'm really happy, because once this is kind of done, everything else should just kind of start falling kind of into place. I still need to get these washers tacked on both sides and then completely welded, but that's a very small task. It should take less than an hour to really get that done. Still need to work on the steering before this thing ever leaves and get proper hem joints on there and everything. It has just the old school ball joints that I don't like. They wear out, they break, they pop off. I don't want that experience with this. But again, yeah, that's what we got going. Again, super, super happy with the progress I've made even just today alone. Can't wait to start bolting everything back together to really just get this thing that much closer. Again, this is Wild Horse subscriber build. There's gonna be the 5th part already on this thing. I've been working on it for quite some time. It's in the all-terrain mower form, or all-terrain tractor form as well. So if you want to go check that out, I'll let you guys know when the voting and everything starts, which I believe it's in November. I'd love if you guys would make an account or have an account already, participate. They got some great info on there, and I can put the link in this video as well. Then you guys can go support and help this thing possibly win or get a top 3 or whatnot from there. I'm just gonna have fun with it. First year I've competed in this build off competition, and it's been nice to have the support from them guys. So again, would love to see them have some more success and have more participation. It's still open enrollment. You can go on there, and you just need to be within, you need at least 25% or more to do on your mower as of this year. And I think the deadline is November 30th or somewhere right around in there. Might be November 1st that it needs to be done by and completed. They got all the rules and everything up on their page. But again, I'll put that link in there as well. Again, as I'm always said way too many times in this video, but I cannot preach it enough, hit that like button if you enjoy anything that you've ever watched from me or this video. Feel free to comment, man. It's YouTube's algorithm. They look for people commenting, interacting with these videos. I want to be able to reach as many people as I can, so that way, for one, I can get better, and for two, that way, we can get more people into this world of mowers, all-terrain mowers, mud mowers, whatever you want to call it. We're kind of a hybrid compared to some people. We're not strictly mud, but we're not strictly trails. So a little bit of everything is what we do. But hope you guys enjoy this. Cannot wait. I would love if the next build video that comes out that it's started and running, but I can't guarantee that. But I know we're getting very close. I know I've said it before, but I think now by the end of March, this thing will at least be running and be able to move back and forth from there. We'll see how far and how long, but the motor should be good to go. It was good when it got pulled out. It's never really been outside. It's been pretty well kept, other than a few times it's flipped. Just got to get the wheels squared away and get this clutch set up going, and then get the brake and everything hooked back up, oil in, exhaust, and we'll at least be able to get a test run in, and then get that front bumper, and again, little other details like need to get the foot throttle and stuff hooked up as well. But hope you guys have enjoyed. Already gone too long as it is. Really appreciate you guys watching this. Again, Travis with Mowers Gone Wild, and let's keep them mowers wild.